Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for taking time out to watch the videos. I always appreciate it. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss, so before we dive into it, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show your support. And if you are new here to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're going over is something that I thought was pretty funny, but also interesting. It's coming from Gaming Bolt, where the title reads, PS5's SSD is a technical gem, fast loading, broke Martha is Dead levels during development. Gaming Bolt did an interview with the developers of Martha is Dead where they pretty much asked them to compare development on the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles while specifically talking about the SSD and the impact that the difference made. And this is what they had to say. We are all amazed by the performance of the PS5 SSD, which in it of itself is a technical gem. However, the element that really makes the difference here is the PS5's data reading and writing system, which is extremely efficient. Even on some occasions, we have found the fact that the PS5 loads some scenes too quickly compared to other consoles, and PCs literally broke the loading of the levels because it was totally unexpected. So we had to get our hands on the code to counterbalance this excessive loading speed. Now, I thought that this was funny because I'm reading this and I'm like, so you're telling me the PS5's SSD is so superior, it's so fast that you actually have to try to nerf it with the development of your game. I don't know that this was a problem any developer was expecting to face with these next-gen consoles, and when Mark Cerny announced the speed of the PlayStation 5's SSD, but here we are, and I really think it does speak to what the PS5 is capable of with the SSD. I know that at this point, the PS5 SSD is practically a meme, but let's be honest, you know, we're not that deep into this new generation, and it's going to be some time before we really see it leveraged. But in the meantime, I'm certainly going to be pointing out some funny, but also I think very telling stories like this. So at this point, I want you to let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Moving right along to the next topic. Reading from VGC, Sony updates Horizon Forbidden West's PS4 page, confirming its free PS5 upgrade. Sony has updated the PlayStation Store page for the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West to make it clear that it's a cheaper way to get the PS5 version. With around a week until Guerrilla's sequel's February 18th release, many PS5 users have pre-ordered the game via the console's built-in store. However, as we reported earlier this week, it's not the cheapest place to buy the game. When purchased through a PS5 console, users were only given the option to purchase the PS5 version of the game for $70 or the Digital Deluxe Edition for $80. However, by visiting the PlayStation Store on either a PS4 console or a web browser, players could access the PS4 version, which only costs $60, and you will get the free PS5 upgrade. So I think that this is a pretty good thing that Sony's doing. You know, people obviously were not happy when it seemed that Sony completely changed their tune. When they said originally that the upgrade for Horizon would be free, then they came out and said it wouldn't be free. Then they backtracked that and said, actually, our mistake, never mind, it's going to be free. And so it's nice to see that they are displaying this on the front of the PlayStation Store because, you know, a lot of people are probably not going to be aware of this. So wanted to be able to point that out to you guys. But now we are talking about the accessibility options that Guerrilla Games revealed for Horizon today, and there's going to be a lot on offer here. Once again, we see a PlayStation first-party studio going above and beyond to really provide just a whole wide array of accessibility options. There will be 5 difficulty settings available, with story mode being the easiest and very hard for those who demand strenuous combat. Custom difficulty allows for individually tuning damage received from enemies and dealt. Also, for those who don't want to deal with certain resources being destroyed since they're still attached to a machine on their death, there's the easy loot system. This will give you the resource components from the machine in question if they're not detached on death. It's enabled by default on story and easy modes. Fully remappable controls and presets for left-handed players, along with options to change certain toggle controls to hold, are also included. There's also a co-pilot system, which allows for a second PlayStation controller with mirrored controls to join the game and thus help out. A one-tap option for quick swapping, dead zone settings for the analog sticks, optional motion controls, and much more can be expected. PS5 players can also adjust the intensity of haptic feedback depending on the situation and disable adaptive trigger support altogether. You can even adjust how the game slows down when opening the weapon wheel, enable aim assist, increase concentration during combat, and much more. This is on top of auto sprint, auto heal, which kicks in when below 50% health, and auto shield wing, which deploys the glider when falling from great heights. So, I mean, yeah, there is a ton on offer here, and I think that this is awesome because we like to see Sony Studios prioritizing this. You know, it's always something that people can appreciate, and reading all of the different options here, I think that this is going to go a long way for a lot of players who are looking to play this game on the 18th. So wanted to be sure to run that by you. Let me know your thoughts on that. Next up, we are talking about Resident Evil 4 Remake because we have some very interesting information, a new report to go over here that also lets us know the game is seemingly going to be revealed in early 2022. And I find this particularly interesting because we've been hearing for some time now that Sony is apparently getting ready to do some type of PlayStation event, and it's going to happen potentially this month, potentially in March. And I have a feeling that if Sony does an event, we will see Resident Evil 4 Remake there. And maybe I'm reading into this too much, but I can't help but think that if this report is true, maybe it gives us a little bit more evidence to go off of that, yeah, Sony is doing an event soon. But this is being reported on from Fanbyte. It comes from Imran Khan, and the gist of it here is Capcom wants to adjust the tone of the remake into something spookier, taking direct inspiration from discarded Resident Evil 4 demos. That footage, which was used in early GameCube preview reels, featured Leon wandering a lonely castle, getting possessed by black smoke, and fighting off living dolls, as well as other ghostly manifestations. Some of this stuff made its way into the original game in other ways. Most of it, however, was left on the cutting room floor, and direct comparisons are being made during development of the remake. Some changes to the story, such as giving side characters bigger roles and more screen time, are also planned. For RE4 Remake, M2 specifically is looking to expand on assignment Ada in separate ways by combining each into one package, a more fluid and polished companion piece. Not every source we talked to could confirm whether this was the main game or planned as DLC, but most said it was looking to be a fairly meaty expansion to the source material. And at the bottom it says Capcom is hoping to announce RE4 Remake in early 2022. So a lot of very good information here regarding Resident Evil 4 Remake. Assuming that this is true, I think this sounds awesome. Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I would be okay if they just wanted to keep it exactly the same way it is, but them saying apparently, hey, we're going to make it creepier, we're going to make it scarier. Apparently some sections, and this is also something that I read, some sections that weren't originally at nighttime will now be at nighttime, like the first village sequence that you experience in the game, which that just sounds incredible to me. I mean, I'm trying to imagine what this is going to be like in my head, and if it lives up to anything that I'm seeing in my head right now, then I think we are in for an incredible experience with RE4 Remake. But moving on to the next topic, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know PlayStation fans are tired of hearing about it, but this is very important to cover. This is also a follow-up to what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday, we went over a statement where Microsoft seemed to make it clear, in my opinion, and then in the opinion of others, that Call of Duty, as well as other Activision Blizzard titles, will continue to release on PlayStation even after the contractual agreements are up. Some people still weren't buying that, though. Some people are saying Microsoft is going to change their tune. They're going to pull the rug out from under us. We can't believe anything they say. Well, I have good news. Today, Microsoft's president made it crystal clear what is going to happen. They did an interview with CNBC, and again, I have to emphasize, this is Brad Smith, the president of Microsoft, saying Xbox will not stop releasing Activision Blizzard franchises, including Call of Duty, on Sony systems. He actually talks about adding more consoles to the publisher's output. Nintendo is cited for example, and compares this acquisition to Microsoft's purchase of Mojang, which has ensured Minecraft remains everywhere. Quote, one of the things we're being very clear about as we move forward with the regulatory review is that great titles like Call of Duty will continue to be available on the Sony PlayStation. We'd like to bring the other popular Activision Blizzard titles to Nintendo devices and ensure that they continue to be available on PlayStation. One of the first acquisitions that Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella made was Minecraft back in September of 2014, and what we've done with that acquisition is a clear indicator of what we hope to do if we acquire Activision Blizzard. End quote. There you go. That makes it crystal clear. There's no more talk about this. There's no more reason to have any further conversation except maybe on Press X podcast this Sunday. It's been made clear Call of Duty is not going anywhere, and it sounds almost like the entirety of Activision Blizzard is going to remain multi-platform. This is coming from Microsoft's president, and this can finally be put to bed now. But we're moving on to the final topic, which I'm going to touch on briefly. Apparently, the ESRB rating for the upcoming PlayStation 5 title Forspoken has confirmed that it will feature in-game purchases. And I wanted to be sure to let you guys know about this because a lot of people are already feeling a little bit trepidatious about this title based off of what we've seen so far, and I'm also one of these people, and this does not bode well. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't want to assume the worst. This just could be for like DLC or something. That's something we do have to point out and mention, and we know the game is going to have DLC, so it's likely that that's all it's referring to, but we do want to keep our eye on this because if there's one thing that we don't want is to see microtransactions of any kind in a single player game. I think that if we ended up seeing something like that in Forspoken, a lot of people would immediately be turned off and say, you know what, I'm going to pass on this one. So I just want to bring this to your attention. We certainly have to see more Forspoken. It's coming out in just a few months, and we really haven't seen that much of it yet. So, or at least when it comes to raw gameplay, I'm hoping we'll see more soon, and I'm hoping that this doesn't mean there's going to be any microtransactions of any sort. I'm going to assume, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, that it's just for the DLC. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon. And feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.